I'm going to show you some presentation hints that you can use for the final presentation. So if we're almost done with the digital model. So here I have something that I did. So this is the 3D view with the plant house, and here we have different options, different layouts. And I'll try to show you how to make it more appealing in Photoshop. You can always use materials in Rhino or hatches, but I think in Photoshop works better. So what I would do is, if we work with the top view, this is a 3D model. So remember that all these elements are 3D. So what we have to do is to go to dimension, make a 2D drawing. We have to select all the elements here, then enter, and we click OK. And you see that we have here the 2D projection of this thing. Okay, so if we go back to the 3D view, here we have the 3D elements, and here we have a 2D. You see, so this is flat. In Revit, we don't have to do that. We can just print out a floor plan view or a level view, and we can do that. But in Rhino, it's the same. We can't take a screenshot and put it in Photoshop because the resolution would be very bad. So it's better if we print it out as a PDF. Okay, so I'm going to select this letter size. We can have either portrait or landscape. I think landscape fits better. Copies one of you. So let's print, and let's save it. Okay, so that's the PDF. You can do the same thing with Revit, printing a PDF. And the good thing of a PDF is vectorial based, so you can zoom in and you always have the line. Okay, then zoom out and we see the lines. So let's do it. Let's open this in Photoshop. Okay, so if I go to Photoshop, I can open this site plan 2 PDF. And here, this is the width. It's not a great, but at least this is 300. So I think I'm going to make it a letter. So if this is 8 and this is 8.5 with this resolution. Okay, so this is what we get. Basically, we don't see anything because we need a background. Okay, so on this layer 1, I will use the paint bucket. Well, it's on layer 2. Okay, so I have created this background, and this is the. It's important that all these lines are closed because we are going to select now different areas, and then we're going to do something. We are going to change the colors. Okay, so if we are in layer 1, we are going to call these lines because those are the lines, and this is the background. So let's go to lines, and I'm going to select all these. Okay, so imagine that all this is a green area around the houses, or this is a pedestrian way, and this is a green area. Okay, so on the background, I right click and create layer of this. Okay, so now all I have is this. And if I select this, then I can change the color or I can do anything. Okay, but it's important that I have here are the lines. So I have selected all these elements, and now I'm going to change the texture. If you remember, we created some materials for the first, for ARCH290. We have some materials here. Okay, so I'm going to use something very, I think it was this one. Okay, so I'm going to merge it here to copy that. And okay, so this is grass, but I don't want this. Okay, because this is too right. So the first thing I'm going to do is to Control U. I'm going to desaturate that. I'm going to make it lighter. That much. Probably a little more saturation. And let's click OK. And now what? Well, I did this with this layer. I think I'm going to do it with the. Okay, so I'm going to select the lines, and now I'm going to keep selecting this, and I'm going to select the grass now, and now copy. First copy. Okay, so now I have this layer. It's a green area. Okay, that's good enough, but it can be better. So I'm going to show you these tools that I think I have never taught you these tools. This is the burn tool. So with this burn tool, I'm going to reduce the size of this. And exposure, and now it's 29, 30. Okay, so with this, when I can create like a darker. So if in the border I create like a darker, it will look much better. Okay, and then there's on this menu we have the dodge. The dodge is the other way around. I create lighter spots. Okay, so at least it's not flat. It's not a realistic grass or lawn, and I think it looks better. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with this one. And now here we have lines, and if we activate the background, we see what we have here. Okay. Remember that we always have to select, use the magic wand I'm going to select these to create different materials so that you can see the difference. Okay, so imagine that I want a pedestrian area here, and here I will have a road with this roundabout. And so if I do this, then, okay, before selecting this, I'm going to copy this grass. And you remember what we did here is to use the Control U. So with the Control U, you can change the color of that thing, and we make it less saturated. I want to make something like yellowish or orange. To find the right. Okay, if I want something more yellowish, I can go to Control B. This is the color balance, and it can be yellow or reddish. Okay, so let's see, review. Okay, that's it. And but I want to make it lighter. So in Control U, I can use the lightness to make it light. We have to make it lighter. Okay. And now on lines, I can use the magic wand, and I can select this. And again, layer, create a new layer with only these elements. And now I can hide this. Oh, so I have to. Okay, do it again. Lines, select. Now select this layer, and on this layer we can copy, and now we have what we want. Okay, so we have the pedestrian area around the green area. And if we use again that tool, well, we can use first this one to make it lighter, and you can use the burn to make it darker in the edges. Okay, kind of. So, well, that's good. Now, in this site plan, I'm going to develop only this, so I will copy that layer again. And I'm going to use Control U, and I'm going to make it like grayish and lighter to create asphalt. So these three colors go well together. And I am going to select lines, the magic wand, go to the gray layer, make it the current one, copy, and there you go. So now we have 3 different materials, and with this one I can do the same. Apply the burn tool. So we can have that. And okay, so if you want another, okay, let's do it here. I'm going to work with lines. I'm going to select this. So let's say that we want another green area there. So on this grass area, I copy and again burn. Okay, the more details you have, the better. But I think that's good enough. And we can always play with the opacity of the layers to make 2 different kind of green areas. Okay, or we can use Control U, and then we can slightly change the color of this. So what is something that we can do? I think it will make a difference. Now I'm going to select the houses itself, because this is, I won't change the color of the houses. I will keep it white. I think it works well. Probably change the color of this roundabout. But the houses, keep them white. So now again, I go to lines and, well, go one by one. Okay, so now I have selected all the houses. And on this background, because I want white, so I will copy this layer just for houses. Okay, so if we don't have this background, I'm going to copy this layer. And now, if those are houses, I'm going to use this FX and drop shadow. That's very interesting, because if we activate this, there will be a shadow. T. Okay, it's not showing. I'm going to cancel because this layer of houses has to be at the top of everything. Okay, and now it will work. Now drop shadow. There you go. Okay. The important thing is that this is north-south, so the sun comes from the south. So that's the right angle of the shadow. Okay, so yes, so we can see how we can create shadows around that. And if we increase the size or the spread, the distance, right? So you see that we can have different things with it. So click OK. For some reason, it's not working there. I don't know why. Oh, yes, because, okay. Because the houses, but casts, the layer that casts shadows have to be at the top of everything. So that's good enough. Okay, finally, I think in this drop shadow, it was too dark. So I'm going to reduce the opacity. And now I'm going to show you how to create trees. There is a very cool option here. So we can first Google trees in plan view. Okay, so I'm going to select I think this is the best. So I'm going to copy and paste it here. I'm going to select all this background, and now you have the tree. You can copy and paste this tree, but I think there's something better. If you, this is a layer. If you just select this, then try to move it. I do this because I want to select that, okay? So if I select this and I edit, define brush, okay, so I'm going to define this brush. You see that the brush itself, it's the tree. Okay, so that's perfect because now I can just click and I have the tree. I need the right color, so I want to use this, and I'm going to click here so that I have this this color. And now this brush I can reduce the size. 360 probably it's too much. Okay, so this is the right size for trees. I get rid of this one, and now I can generate a new layer, trees, and I can do this. Okay, so you see that we have the tree here. The opacity is 75. If we want to increase the opacity, we can do this. And the good thing is that we can change that color. We can make it slightly darker. And here we will have other trees, or we can change this to make it green. So that's good enough. It's not an actual tree. It's easier to do it because we don't have to copy and we don't take up that much space. Okay. And finally, use the drop shadow option with the same angle, the same intensity, and then you will bring out the trees as well. Okay, so this is very easy. It takes a few minutes, and I think it makes a difference because we realize what the green area is, the pedestrian area is, and the buildings. So I think those colors go well together. So try something like that for the presentation.